Let's offer a blessing to this world. Let's pray over this world in this moment. Pray for the people who are in darkness. Let there be light. Pray for everybody who is sticking their necks out to stay comfortable, to stay humble, and to know that every time that you wake up in the morning and that you're walking on your feet, that you're smelling things, that you're touching things, that you're breathing life into existence, speaking worlds into existence, being the creation of manifestation, being the soul craft to meditation. That there is not a destination, but there's always a destiny. There is always heart. There is always trials. There is always tribulation. But there's always, through all the carnage, through all the pain, through all the suffering, there's always bliss. There's always ecstasy. There's always a reason to live. There's always a reason to keep fighting. There's always a reason to be all that you can be in all ways. To be honorable. To be who you are. And even when you are the mess, love the mess that you are. Love the height that you are. Love the weight that you are. Love that you're the eyes. Love that you're the nose. Love that you're the ears, the mouth, the feet, the legs, the chest, whatever you are to this human collective. That's beautiful. Everybody has a role, so in this moment, pray for everybody. Bless them. And in this moment, you're receiving downloads. Saint Germain is here. And before this transmission, let's get rid of the carnage, the violence, the negativity, the hatred, the disdain, the arrogance. But just know, every time you awaken, every time you're breaching through levels upon levels upon levels upon levels of your consciousness, you're clearing something, you're emptying out, you're healing, you're transcending, you're embodying something as you are doing this. You're imbibing who you are, and you're becoming more and more about your redemption story. But it's not a redemption of you having to make so many obstacles, overcoming so many obstacles in order to be redeemed, but that you just say that I want to be redeemed and that I forgive myself, that I drop it, leave it, let it go, give it back to source, send it back to the sun, and say that's not what I am, but I say whatever I am. I confirm everything that I am. Take a deep breath. And in this moment, the whole world is feeling a sense of peace. Let's tap into peace. That's what this transmission that White Wolf is going to do is about peace, about redemption, about not being a part of the said carnage. You'll feel like you're floating. You'll feel a little fluffy. You'll feel some orange energy. My dragon Ezekiel is breathing his flame up into the ethers. More light codes. To all the saints, to to all the people who are light workers that are trying very hard to make a living, to the people who are suffering, to the poor, to everyone in this whole universe, that they feel some peace, that they feel tranquility, that they feel comfortable with who they are. But as the human race needs to do in this moment is try to tap into peace. Whatever you have to do to tap into peace, tap into it. Take one last deep breath. And when I snap my fingers, we will start the transmission. You will feel elevated. Your mind will be clear. Your heart will be in alignment. Your chakras will be in alignment. You'll be receptive. And you'll be open channel to this transmission. Good afternoon, dear beloveds. This is White Wolf. I'm going to share out to all of the groups. How are you all doing today? And we're going to be talking about redemption. We're going to be talking about why we get tricked in this universe, why we get tricked into believing these illusions, to watching movies, to surrounding ourselves with things that we should not surround ourselves. And if we are being a part of the problem instead of the solution, then we're generating more of an illusion and more of a problem. So I'm going to share out to all the groups. I don't necessarily see myself. Now I see myself, but I'm going to share out to all the groups. This is White Wolf. I hope that you enjoyed that time of prayer, opening a blessing to the universe, because in this time people are struggling. People are exposing themselves to so many different things. And what if you had this thought, like, what if you thought about all the things that you were exposed to before you awakened? Just imagine, I wish I burned sage my whole life, because it would have protected me. I wish I had psychic protection my whole life. I mean, it would have made a whole slew of difference. I mean, it would have just made a difference the whole time. But I want you to understand that every time that you wake up in the morning, you get a chance to do this over again, and do it over again, and do it over again. The times that you were meant to die and that you did not die, that meant Source had a prophecy for you to fulfill. Source had a destiny for you to fulfill. Source has something better in your future than you would have ever imagined that you would ever attain. Because we all get second chances. Sometimes some of us get fourth chances, 5 chances, 6 chances, 7 chances, 8 chances. No matter how many chances you get, you should always bask in the glory that you're still here, that you're still having this experience of experiencing things, that you're still here, that you didn't quit, that you didn't fail, because failing is not a real thing. It's another illusion. When you have to understand that we're trying to see through the illusion of our conditioning of being the human being, our consciousness gets very wide open. We become a being of pure white light. And what I want you guys to understand, what I'm trying to do with these sort of cigars and spirituality episodes, is that I'm trying to be authentic in my own way and have more people be more comfortable with who they are, with what they do, with how they do it. And it's not a matter of how you're doing it or what you're doing, but the fact that you're being authentic, and the fact that you're just being who you are, and you're just being true to yourself, and you're following your highest alignment, and you're following your highest excitement as you're following your highest alignment. But what I really wanted to talk about is what I've noticed in these movies that they're putting out, the Suicide Squad, the Protege. All of these movies have carnage. They have violence. They have destruction. They have sort of a mad scientist feel. And there's been a few times where me and MorningStar have left the movie theater because we love movies, and it just made us sick to our stomachs, because that's not who we are. We're not a part of the carnage. But we get tricked into watching something like that or being exposed to something like that. So every time that we're awakened now our senses are heightened, and as our senses are like a lot more heightened, we kind of see through a lot of bullshit. We see that this movie has weird energy. We see that it's wrong to watch. We see, and we're closing our eyes so that we see more. But what I'm really saying is that our human conditioning is sort of like the carnage that is being portrayed in this movie. We almost have to look at ourselves, what's being reflected, and what people are exposing themselves to. And what they're exposing themselves to is the carnage that's inside of them. And once you realize that every time that you wake up in the morning, you are having redemption. You are letting go of emotional stuff. You are letting go of past lifetime stuff. You are letting go of your past. You're letting go of everything that makes you a human being, and everything about your past, and everything that you're bipolar, any of your like medical conditionings as well. Because quite frankly, I think that we're being tricked all the time. That they're trying to get us off our game. They're trying to get us out of alignment. But we know what the truth really is. We know what they're really doing, what they're trying to make us have a misstep. But then we have the choice to be like, I'm gonna go this way. I'm not gonna go left. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna stay in alignment. I'm gonna stay within my peace and stay within my bliss. Because what I'm kind of seeing within the collective, there's a lot of anger, of sadness, of patience, of waiting, of waiting, of waiting, of waiting. But what you have to understand is that you have to choose peace above all else. You have to choose peace within yourself. You have to truly understand and look at something. Look at your emotions. Look at what you're doing. Look at maybe you're bipolar for a second. Maybe you got angry and you hit something. It's all kind of a representation of what's being reflected back to us. So we can look at these movies and we can be like, wow, why would they do that? But what they're really reflecting to us is that maybe we have some of that carnage that we need to get out of ourselves. Because every day is like we're in the video game, and we get to have a reset, and we get to have a reboot, and we get to another chance to beat this level, to beat this bad guy that has been kicking our ass the entire time. And it's like, because I would, that's what I would do when I would play video games. I would stop playing it for a second because this guy, this being, this monster was kicking my ass every time. But we got to realize that the monster's inside of us, and we're trying to clear the monster out. We're trying to see the beauty within the beast. And every time, every day that we wake up is a redemption of how we're going to live this life, of how we're going to live our everyday life, moment to moment to moment to moment. So it's like we're doing things all the time that trigger people. We're doing things, all the time that trigger people that are reflecting things back to us. So look at those triggers, look at those emotions, look at why you're getting angry at this. And I'm really talking about my own direct experience as I'm talking to you, as my higher self is being channeled through me, channeled through me, speaking this to you. I am actually teaching myself in this moment. So we all go through our own shitstorm. We all go through our mess, but we have to embrace our mess. We have to embrace the times that we go through it, that we are integrating things, that we don't even realize this is for our best benefit. But if we keep being a part of the carnage, if we keep being a part of the mess, if we keep doing the same things and expecting a different result, doing the same cause and not having a different effect, well, of course, you have to do something different. But don't beat yourself up over it. It's not a redemption, thinking that you have to prove to other people that you are redeemed, that you have to go through a bunch of obstacles, that you have to feel like you have to step on your toes and drag your knees through the dirt to be redeemed, because that's not what this journey is all about. And what this journey is really about is about forgiving yourself, letting yourself off the hook, but dealing with your own stuff. And it's literally understanding that there is something always to learn, there's always something to integrate, there's always something to get over, there's always something that's expanding you, that's keeping you stretched out, that's keeping you emptied out. Because if you are not emptied out and not pure white light, there's no way that there's going to be a lot of mastery and grace bestowed to you. Because all of these people that do these great things, they went through the gambit, they went through the tough times, they went through it because it allowed them to catapult to where they are today. It allowed them to be who they are today. It made them stronger, it made them wiser. And we have to stop identifying with our own shadow. Our shadow has nothing to do with us. The light has everything to do with us. And the shadow self sometimes gets a little triggered. The shadow self gets a little angry, a little bipolar, a little this and a little that, a little bit of salt and a little bit of vinegar. So what we have to understand is that they're clearing. Maybe you have darkness in your legs. Maybe you have darkness right here. That's fine. But if you want to be a pure being, a purified being with a purified ego, then you're going to have to empty yourself out. And I'm not saying that you're going to have to do this, but if you want to become all that you can be, and this is for me too, if you want to become all that you can be, you have to be emptied out. You have to be clear-headed. You have to be the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. The oracle of love, light, and wisdom knows transcendence, knows what needs to be done, knows what to do. But sometimes it's us getting past the 3D self and embracing the 7th density self. But we shouldn't rush that process. We shouldn't rush the process, because if we can't love the times that we're learning, that we're integrating, that we're here in the now, then we're never going to be happy to where we're supposed to go in life. We're never going to embrace who we are in this life. So what you have to understand is that you may be messy right now. You may be at a crossroads right now. You may be falling on your sword right now. But this whole journey is about redemption. It's about redeeming the true self. It's about claiming your true power, claiming the true self, owning back your power, because you were stripped from your power. You agreed to forget all of this so that you can retain your power and show to yourself and prove to yourself. It's all about proving it to yourself. It's not about proving it to John and Betty down the street. It's not about proving it to them. It's not about proving it to your partner. But it's about a living testament of redemption, of proving that you can do this, that I'm going to look myself in the mirror, I'm going to tell myself I love myself. I'm going to tell myself I'm going to have hair until the day I die. I'm going to tell myself that I'm going to have a nice physique for the rest of my life. And that you love yourself, and that you forgive yourself, and that I'm going to empower myself to the point where it looks really, really ridiculous. I'm going to empower myself above all else, and it may sound ridiculous, and it may sound really redundant, but if you understand that more positive thoughts and less negative thoughts are actually you coming closer to becoming God in human form, then you would realize that we all have baggage, we all have the past, but we don't have to identify with anything that is of that nature, that is of that shadow self, that is of the very thing that holds us back in life. It may cost you everything on the spiritual path, but it's costing you everything that is limiting you, that is leaving you stagnant, that is not allowing you to use your throat chakra to the fullest of your capabilities. You have to understand is that sometimes we've been suppressed in this lifetime for so long that it feels good to just scream for a second and just to breathe and just to be heard. I mean, sometimes when we go live, we really are speaking to somebody But sometimes we just want to be heard. We want to speak the truth. We want to get the word out there so that somebody doesn't feel alone in this experience of experiencing. We don't want you to feel alone. We want you to feel like you have a family. We want you to feel like someone is out there that feels just like you. And I'm here to tell you that there is. There's someone out you that's experiencing this experience that you're having right now. And that you're not alone, and that you're not going crazy. Yes, you may see your guides. Yes, you may have to clear the house. Yes, you may have like fallen on your sword and you made a fool of yourself, and I'm kind of talking about myself. But it's truth. It's owning your own shit. It's owning it. It's owning the mess that you are, and once you keep owning it and taking responsibility for the mess that you are, which is the imposter self that I talk about quite frequently. It's the imposter self. It's the self that is needy, that is complacent, that is egoic, that is self-serving. And it's not the effortless perfection of the higher self. It is a false narrative. It is negativity. It is human conditioning. It is all the things that drives away from source. So every time we just got to understand when we're driving away from source, when we're going away from sort of our true nature. Like if we're driving away from it and sort of we can catch it, we can stop it, we can perfect it, we can improve it. We're always improving. But sometimes I feel like we're just too hard on ourselves. We're too hard on ourselves because we feel like we're not improving right here, right now. But every single day is redemption because you wake up and it's a redemption to yourself. You wake up and you're redeeming everything that you did the other day. And I'm not saying everybody has a bad day, but we all have bad days. But those bad days actually make you stronger. They make you more wise. All the times that you struggled, all the times you've had severe catalysts, it's all sort of guidance. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but it's truth whether you like it or not. And most of my truths that I've ever faced in my spiritual journey have been kind of slaps on the wrist, swats upside the head, and don't get me wrong, it's not very pleasant. But as you get through it, as you break through it, as you breach through it, it gets a little more smoother and a little more easier and a little more tangible when you get through it. But sometimes we run away from ourselves. Sometimes we don't want to face things. And it's understandable. We have a lot of trauma. We have a lot of emotions. We have a lot of catalysts and reflections to face all the time, every single day. But sometimes we just need to lay down and ask Spirit, I want you to work on me. I want you to work on this. Work on why I think this way, why I feel this way. What am I believing about myself that's not true? Why would I say that to my partner? Why would I get angry at my partner? Why would I do that? And it's sort of a cathartic, therapeutic sort of thing that happens. I mean, people think therapy does wonders. Well, the spiritual awakening does wonders because they're gonna squeeze you really tight, and they're gonna get all the dirty water from the mop bucket, if you will, out of you, because that water is not purified, it's not bubbly, it's not sparkly. And they're going to get that dirty mop water out because it's not doing anything for anybody. I mean, how do you expect to help somebody with that dirty mop bucket? You got to clean the mop, you got to get the bucket and get the dirty water out and pour it out and get rid of it and wash it, and you're good to go. You're revitalized, you're reawakened, you're alive again. There's more of a readiness within you. There's more of an aliveness in you. There's the dial that changed. There's an electromagnetic field, kinetic source energy that's just running through you, beaming through you, shooting through you. And it's a very liberating feeling on this path when you understand that you may be a mess right now, but this mess can get cleaned up. Mr. Clean can come in and empty you out. Or it could be a shaman from Africa. It doesn't matter. It could be your partner. It could be someone that you reached out to that helps you with it. But at the same time, you are the only one that can help yourself. And it's one thing that I understood. You can pay thousands and thousands of dollars for someone to make appointments with somebody and try to work on you, try to help you meditate, try to help you do this, help you activate that. But at the end of the day, at the core of it, you're the only person that's responsible for your alignment. You're the only person that's truly responsible for you. And people can help you, people can guide you, but you have to seek your own guidance. You have to seek your own leadership, your own resonance, your own message, your own truth, if you will. You have to seek your own guidance. You have to find out what your truth is, what it amounts to, what you want it to be, and at the core of it, I don't like to call it shadow work. I don't like to even call it the shadow self, more of the imposter self, but let's call it our inner work. Because it's our inner work, it's our own horse manure, but it's what we do to clean up that horse manure. It's what we do to flush it out. And I know that's kind of a silly analogy, but I make those analogies sort of so that people can get it, and I'm not trying to like confuse people. But what you have to understand is that I think the human race is going through more of a tough time than they ever have. And what we need to do in this time is extend a hand of love, extend a hand of grace, and just try to pray for people. And this is what I do, and MorningStar really pushes me to do this every night. And I do a big prayer, and I'm like, Father, thank you for all these blessings. Pray over people and just try to, because there's only so much that a human being can do. There's only so much that you can do. But at the same time, if you take time out of your day to offer kindness when nobody is looking and doing the right thing when nobody is looking, it's actually a very liberating thing. I pray over some light workers that I see going live, and I see that they are, have a lot of energy sent at them. I pray over them because we have to pray over our brothers and sisters. We have to pray over this world. No wonder why there's masters offering blessings before they do a big thing. No wonder, because at the core of it, we have to understand that we need to help one another. We need to be the mold. We need to be the clay. Some of us are the potter. Some of us are the clay. Some of us are the eyes. Some of us are the nose. Some of us are the ears. That's okay. Some of us are the feet and the legs. But love the position that you have. It's like being on a football team. Just because the guy's the quarterback doesn't mean that makes you less important. We don't always need a Patrick Mahomes, but sometimes we need a running back. Sometimes we need a good running back. Sometimes we need a very good safety. We need some wide receivers. We can't do this alone, if you will. We can't do this alone. And once we kind of understand that we kind of need the doors of heaven to be down here, and we need to have heaven on earth, and we just need to make that decision that we truly want heaven on earth. That's what we're looking for in this life. That's why it is redemption, because we went through hell to experience heaven. And we don't feel like we have to wait for that redemption until we die, which I don't believe that death does its part. That's just my belief. That's not even an opinion. That's just an observation as I see it. But we want to experience bliss. We want to experience heaven. We want to experience ecstasy. We want to experience what it's like to be in peace and tranquility. Everybody in this world wants that. Even the people that don't understand what they're doing bad things and don't realize what's taking over them. And we got to understand that in this time we have to surround ourselves with peace. We have to surround ourselves with inspiration. We have to surround ourselves with things that make us feel good. And sometimes in this world, we're being subjected to a lot of carnage, of terrible, awful things that they try to make us watch in movies. And don't get me wrong, there's beautiful movies. I love movies. I'm never going to stop watching movies. But when you watch a movie and it makes your stomach sick, there's something to that. These people know what they're doing. There's a lot of New Age spiritual films, coming out of the woodwork. But then there's these films that are just portraying what we are as humans, as the carnage, as the nastiness. But we don't need to identify ourselves with that. We gotta stop identifying ourselves with the anger, with the violence, with the unhappiness, the identity of suffering. But what we gotta understand, we just have to tap into our true nature, our true bliss, our true wonder, offer blessings, offer hands of salvation. And right now, somebody could be hearing this and it could be so inspiring, so uplifting. We have to lift people up with our healing words of wisdom that lead to our heart activations. Because when we have words of wisdom to bestow onto people, there's something that happens and it resonates and it rejuvenates them, it revitalizes them, it alivens them. It just does something to them that makes them feel that this human experience isn't so bad. It's never that bad. We just have to look at it in a different perspective. We just always have to have a different perspective on how we view things, on how we do things, on how we react to things. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm perfect. But what I was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, to where I am now is quantum leaps. You know, and it's just crazy that once you just realize that you get another try, just always keep trying. If you don't do anything else in this life, always try. That's the one thing that I have always been complimented on in my life. That even though did I accomplish a lot of things before 2 years ago? No. But people always said, you try. And that's all that needs to be said. The fact that you try, the fact that you don't give up on yourself, the fact that you keep trying to push and persevere and try to make the most of this experience of experiencing our projection and creation and manifestation, our soul craft to meditation, is beautiful. The way that you try to approach something differently than before, it could be as simple as getting a different coffee, getting a different ice cream, getting a different cigar, a longer one, a shorter one, a more robust one, a sweeter one. But it's all about how you look at it with your perspective. It's all about how you change the way that you think about things, the way that you feel about things, the way that you see through illusions, and not to identify yourself with the said illusion. It's a very liberating sort of thing. And it's almost to the point where I can't really describe it to you, but you almost have to experience it yourself to get a taste of what I'm talking about. But sometimes we have to understand that everything that we're integrating, all the things that we go through, it's not to make us defeated. It's actually to make us more dominant and to make us more strong and to make us have a lot more willpower, in a sense. It's here to kind of wisen us up. Drop my torch. It's here to sort of like wisen us up and to kind of crack the egg, if you will. Sometimes we've been sitting on that wall like Humpty Dumpty for too long, and we've been sitting on that wall, and sometimes we just need to fall off it, break the shell, crack the egg, and sort of snap back into alignment and get a hit of enlightenment. So it's a very fun journey, but also at the same time you're experiencing you getting past yourself. You have to get past your own like shit, if you will. But it's not here to hurt you or to trick you. It's actually, you're done being tricked. You're done having this whole world trick you into believing that you're a silly human being. It's actually that you're done being lied to, you're done being in this illusion, being programmed, and you're reprogramming your consciousness, and you're realizing that all of your pipe dreams, all of your fairy tales that you used to believe in is actually, the magic is actually who you are. The magic is who you are. You being inspirational is who you are. The I am is who you are. The I am is all that there is. The I am bliss. And when you just take a deep breath and you like have that moment of silence and that moment of clarity, and it just shines through, and it's like, whole weight's lifted off my shoulders. I can stop giving into my process, my human conditioning process, and start getting into my higher self's process. My higher self's, you're sort of like the USB drives that gets plugged into the laptop, if you will. You're like the USB drive that gets downloaded all of this information, but you can't get all of this information all in one day because you physically wouldn't be able to sort of handle it, if you will. So be happy with where you are at, be happy with who you are in this life as of right now, and just be thankful that you get to wake up in the morning and you get to see the sun shining on your shoulders, and you get to smell the plants, you get to run your feet through the grass, you get to go out to your pool if you have one, you get to go for a run if you can, and the fact that you get another try, you get the reset button. So press the reset button on your day and reprogram the program that you already are, and download the information that you want in your life. Download that perfection, download the effortless perfection of your higher self, and you will channel the higher self through you and you will speak worlds into existence. But this is White Wolf. I hope you all enjoyed this transmission. I hope you enjoyed the prayer, the blessing that was in the beginning of the video. Please go to our YouTube channel, MorningStar I Am Movement. Go to bitchute MorningStar at I Am Movement, and also go to Divine Ray, MorningStar, and White Wolf. And please go to Instagram, I_M_movement, all lowercase. Go to TikTok, MorningStar967, and share out to all the groups, and feel free to donate. And I do believe either Monday or Tuesday, me and MorningStar will probably do paid readings and healings. So stay tuned for that. I'll create an event for that as well. I hope you enjoyed this message. I hope it inspired you. I hope that you hit the ground running and go do what you want to do in your life. This is White Wolf signing off, and so it is. God bless.